The investigation into the high school massacre is slow-moving and dangerous. The two gunmen who went on the rampage booby-trapped the building and even themselves. All day long, investigators have searched the homes of both teenage killers. In one of them, police say they found bomb-making materials. Specially trained officers searching the school today found close to 30 explosive devices all around the building. Authorities have also revised the death toll, now saying 15 people were killed, including the two gunmen. Most of the bodies are still inside the school, but families of the murder victims have been notified. NJ Burkett begins our coverage. He is live in Littleton, Colorado. NJ.
And Roz, we're being kept far away. The building off in the distance is still sealed off. As you said, the bodies have not yet been removed. A total of 15 people are believed to have died here, 12 students, 1 faculty member, and the 2 young killers. Investigators say this attack appears to have been carefully planned for a long time.
One by one, students returned to Columbine High and left bouquets of flowers in a park half a mile away.
A little bit of pain, a little bit of everything at once. It's deep, you know, but it's got to be strong.
Parents, hug your kids. Pray that, be happy that you're with them. Kids, grab your friends, hold them tight, and never be mad at people because it could happen in a second that they'll be gone.
Investigators found their first pipe bomb in the parking lot, and the Denver bomb squad immediately sealed off the building. Robotic cameras later found the entire school was booby-trapped. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold had apparently committed suicide, but investigators say they spent their final moments rigging the building and their own bodies with more than 24 pipe bombs. Amid the gunshots and bomb blasts, hundreds of students ran for their lives, stalked in their own school by 2 of their own classmates who went on a rampage.
People were getting shot all around me.
There was a guy at a table right next to us, next to me and her, and they just shot him and then walked away, and then he was just sitting there in a pool of blood.
Detectives now believe they entered the school through a back door and stormed down the hallways. They cornered students in the cafeteria and the library, where there was nowhere to run. Witnesses say they laughed as they fired their weapons, executing their classmates who begged for their lives.
They were shooting anyone of color wearing a white hat or played a sport, and they didn't care who it was, and it was all at close range.
Screaming after they'd shoot up something, they'd go, woo! Just a pleasure for them.
This morning, students packed a prayer service at a local church and stood in the parking lot, embraced one another, and wiped away their tears. Graduation was less than 2 weeks away. Amber Burgess is Columbine High School's homecoming queen.
I don't even know if people are going to be able to walk back in the school again and see empty chairs, and it'll be horrible.
Now, they have been attempting to identify the bodies inside the school all day today. At a news conference just a few minutes ago, the county prosecutor updated reporters on their efforts to identify the bodies.
We have completed tentative notifications to, I believe, all of the family members of the people who are still inside the school. Only 2 of the victims have been removed, at least the last time I was down at the scene. We have a number of others that are still at the scene, but we've completed those tentative identifications to the families and notified them that based on descriptions and other criteria that they have provided to us, that we've been able to identify them.
That now the latest word from the county prosecutor here. Once again, to recap, 15 people dead, 16 people hospitalized, 5 of them in critical condition. Live tonight, Littleton, Colorado, NJ Burkett, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, NJ, thank you. President Clinton saying he and his aides are struggling to understand why all of this happened. The president said early intervention is the key to preventing trouble.
We must all do more to recognize and look for the early warning signals that deeply troubled young people send, often before they explode into violence. Surely more of them can be saved, and more innocent victims and tragedies can be avoided.
The White House says President Clinton may visit Littleton, Colorado at a time when it is best for the community. Ross?
The two killers belong to a group of students that named itself the Trenchcoat Mafia, and we are beginning to learn more about these teenagers. Stacey Sager is live in the Eyewitness Newsroom with that side of the story. Stacey.
Well, Roz, they wore black trench coats, combat boots, and some wore Nazi crosses. They hated jocks, loved the internet, and were fascinated by World War II. They were known as the Trenchcoat Mafia. The question is, why didn't anyone know they'd turned so violent? The clues were here in Littleton long before the deadly violence. The yearbook pictures with handwritten captions about insanity. This alleged Trenchcoat Mafia website shut down shortly after ABC News took these pictures. It even had a so-called hit list mentioning jocks and one substitute teacher as potential targets. And there were the outfits, the dark coat and boots associated with Hollywood's more violent scenes. But no one knew the talk would become reality.
It's just a gang of about 20 guys who call themselves the Trenchcoat Mafia. They wear trench coats every day to school, and wear makeup and paint their nails and stuff. They're just I don't know, everyone kind of thinks of them as different, and they always just hang out with themselves only.
I mean, they looked like, they sort of had vibes of, not exactly loving everyone. But I mean, they never walked around the halls, saying, you're all gonna die.
Students also say that members of the small suburban gang bragged about their guns and ammo. One cyber chatter even recalled a previous warning that a certain El Caress wrote about preparing for the big April 20th. You're all going to be sorry. Terrorism experts widely know that this time of year has been extremely violent throughout history. April 19th is the anniversary of many painful moments, from Waco to Ruby Ridge to Oklahoma City. And this past April 20th was the 110th anniversary of Adolf Hitler's birthday.
April 20th might just turn out to be a watershed date for an event such as what occurred in Colorado, and might in the future precipitate other types of events like this.
Experts we talked to feel it is tragic the isolation and hatred went undetected at the school, yet they say the key to preventing future violence may really lie with parents and kids at home.
Teach them they're allowed to express their anger in words. They're not allowed to act on them. If they don't act on it with you, they will learn how to control their anger as they get older.
Now, police have been interviewing the family members of the two teenagers responsible for the shooting. We now know that one of them, Eric Harris, also posted violent lyrics and recipes for pipe bombs on the internet. And his final entry in an AOL chat room, which was posted yesterday morning at 8:41, read, "Today is my last day on Earth." Rob.
Disturbing. Thank you, Stacey. The Vatican led world reaction to the horror in Colorado. Pope John Paul is calling on Americans to respect the dignity of human life. In London and other major capitals around the world, the shooting grabbed the headlines, knocking the war in Kosovo off of the front pages. A Tokyo paper labeled America as a sick gun society, and Australia's Prime Minister called the shooting an act of terrorism.